Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Hi, everybody. Don't go anywhere. Up next, I get to sit down and have a deep dive with Dirk Manning. See you in a second. Many thanks to the production team, specifically Kyle, for making crazy cool new bumpers for the shows. Looks super fancy. I like my new song. All right, everybody. It is time to get down and serious about some comic books that are coming to places near you soon. And in this case, it's a cool way to get comic books called crowdfunding. And the king of crowdfunding is joining us today. Welcome, Dirk Manning.
Hello, my friend, and hello, all of you out there. It's good to see you.
I think it's fair to say that you are the king of crowdfunding, yes?
You know, for everyone that's good, there's someone better. You know, I'm certainly not at a Brian Polito level or a Spike Trotman level, but I will certainly happily take a place in the court of royalty, I guess, of crowdfunding. You know, so I'll take my place at the round table, if you will, as one of the OGs and one of the people who really still continues to enjoy a lot of success with it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you're the first person I saw that like really used specifically the crowdfunding Kickstarter page for to optimize it to its best possible version of itself, to understand how all of that worked. Did you watch other people do it and then just modify from there, or did you go in and kind of like look at what Kickstarter suggested and say, well, people aren't using all this stuff, they should be?
You know, being early allows you the opportunity to kind of set certain precedents, I think, you know, and to me, my biggest motivation was actually, it's interesting talking to you as a store owner, was store owners like you know, who wanted to support my work. And the way I kind of approached it, which I'm not going to say no one else did it this way, but I will tell you that no one else I saw was doing it this way, which was, if I was going to be releasing a book, I knew that I would be using crowdfunding to offer the book to like my most diehard, dedicated readers who maybe oftentimes, the way I came up, didn't necessarily read comics otherwise or have access to a comic book shop. But at the same time, I wanted the books to still be able to exist in the direct market. So what I ended up doing was I kind of was one of the, I'm using all these very flattering words. I'm not comfortable with it. I apologize. But I guess kind of pioneers, you know, in regards to saying, I'm going to offer a Kickstarter exclusive hardcover of the book, or a version of the book that maybe is not as attractive to store owners, but would be very attractive to like my core, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
The idea then being that I could then offer the direct market trade paperback edition to stores, so that ideally people who maybe didn't want to invest $30 in a hardcover could invest $15-20 in a trade paperback later and then go support the comic shops. So that was kind of my mentality going in. I've definitely seen that model evolve and grow and get utilized more and more, and that's awesome, because that's the name of the game, you know, pay it forward. But that was kind of my motivation for doing it the way I did. And like I said, I didn't really see anyone else doing it that way, but to me, that's what it was all about, because I straddled that weird line between starting to punch through to the direct market, but also still having a readership that largely did not frequent comic shops at the time.
Yeah, I think that you hit kind of like that sweet spot where I would say maybe 3 years ago, crowdfunding was kind of seen to the direct market, the retail store, as kind of like, well, we're being circumvented, or people they've forgotten about us somehow. But the way you've approached it makes sense, because you are hitting your rabid fan base first with something that's special. really like draws them in, and they know that it's like, okay, well, I'm going to support this, and that allows for a larger print run for you for everything else. And you've made it so that that the package for a retailer allows for what they're going to receive to seem special to a store.
Right.
It's not the run of the mill. Like it might be the standard edition, but you include something that makes it so that it encourages people to also come to their LCS to get one of those. So
yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting you say that, because one of the things I did, and again, full transparency, early on, I did have some stores kind of saying, well, why am I going to order your book if the people that want the most are already buying it directly from you, or they're going to buy it from you at conventions? Or why am I going to order your book if I know sooner or later the Dark Manning World Tour will be in my town and they're going to wait to buy it from you? So what I started doing was, in the retailer packages, I started offering, like you said, packages of the Kickstarter version that you could then have in the store and draw them in that way. And even several times with you, I offered very special ones just for you because you have such a large audience. And it's funny because then I started to get a little bit, and some retailers would appreciate that and then jump in on that. But then even I would get a small percentage of people like, wait a minute, if stores can order it, then my version's not special. And no, that's not it. It's like, and I had to kind of explain to people, and people, the few people that are kind of cranky got it pretty quick. I said, look, here's the thing. I'm not going to stop a store owner from coming in and buying the books, but I'd rather them be upfront and transparent about it, so we know what's going on. And then I can just say, hey, if you missed the Kickstarter, if your transmission went out or whatever,
sure,
you can go to Space Cadets Collection and say, hey, because I try to advertise the stores that go on that level and say, they have copies of it. You can still get it there. In fact, it's funny, just before we went on the air today, as you can tell by my office, I'm a book guy. There was a book that came out by one of my favorite authors, and somehow I missed him putting out a deluxe edition of this book. I have the regular edition. I have the regular first print hardcover signed, but I want this fancy one. And I've been online now that they're saying the ship's scouring around, like who's selling it at a reasonable price, blah, 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 So I'm not mad that there were stores that bought extra copies of that deluxe edition, or even people that bought it just to resell it, or because they have to resell it. But it gives me an opportunity as an Uber fan to buy a second version of that book, which is like that real fancy one. It'll go with my other fancy ones, and someday when I die, I'll build my pyramid and all my stuff will come with me. And that'll be, that, or it's going to be the world's coolest estate sale, one or the other. So
it'll be at least the most creepy. How's that?
That is true. Except for the case of the Cthulhu Junior campaign that launches tomorrow, we'll have some cute stuff finally. We'll have the plushies and things like that.
Oh yeah, okay. So I was super excited about this. So we've known about Cthulhu Junior since the free comic book day version that came out.
Yeah, Halloween Comic Fest 2019.
Okay. So, and it was well received. This cool art by Scoots.
Yeah, Scoot's amazing.
So precious. Okay, so
precious. He is. He's a precious little guy, right?
So I'm guessing way back then you had plans for doing a series.
Yeah.
Was there a hiccup in the middle? Did pandemic slow that stuff down?
It did. Originally, it's funny. If you look at the back of the Halloween Comic Fest book, we have right on there very loudly and proudly, full story coming in 2020. Then 2020 happened, and it was like, do we really want to put out a book that can be accessed by young readers in all ages about the end of the world during the end of the world, So that really kind of pushed things back. It just wasn't the right time. I mean, with things going on, not that we're clear of COVID by any stretch of the imagination, but at that time when things were legitimately so scary and so many people were getting sick and worse, we weren't going to put out a book about the end of the world for kids that kids could read. This is truly an all ages book. Like you and I can read this and get different things out of it. You've read it.
Of course.
Kids, but this is a book that's definitely designed for readers of all ages, and it just wasn't the right thing. And then you compound that with what was going on in the industry as a whole. And stores weren't sure what was going on, and Lyman was shutting down, and people were out of work. It wasn't the right time. So we kind of reshuffled into the deck. I'm so excited to get this out. And like I said, to make it worth the wait for everybody, we're now also offering the 12-inch Cthulhu Junior plushies with it from Rip Rap Toys to make it worth the wait for everybody.
Yeah, I think even for I think we'll find that for that plushie specifically, even people that haven't read the book, or maybe the book's not for them, like they're like, that's a kid's book, even though it's not, that they would be drawn to, collecting everything Cthulhu. So you've got the sweet spot on that plushie for sure.
Well, thank you. And yeah, I mean, it's funny because like when I started my first series, Nightmare World, back in the day, I used to have disclaimers like on the websites and things like that, and the forums or different places, like what's a Cthulhu, and having to kind of specify. I did not create this. This was part of this monster created by this guy H.P. Lovecraft in the 1930s. He wanted to do like a shared universe model, and I'm kind of tapping into that. And so many people didn't know what Cthulhu was or who he was. Or now it's like buy slippers, like back behind me. Sorry, not that way. It's like you can see like Cthulhu cereal and slippers and plushies and toys and Funko Pops and all this stuff, I mean, you got this guy up there. It just, what a world, what a world. So it's fun to get to tap into this mythos and do something a little bit different with it. There's been cute versions of Cthulhu before. There's cute versions of everything if you dig deep enough. Cute Godzilla, there's cute everything. But to tap into this and to be able to offer a book that, again, you and I can enjoy as adults, but then younger readers can enjoy, and they can get the doll and get the plushie, or the adults can get the plushie and hang out with your 12-inch Cthulhu Junior and read the book with it. I mean, it's fun. It's fun to be in a position to do this. I'm really honored to be working with Source Plank Press and be able to now facilitate these crazy ideas.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Dastardly Dirk clearly looks like your con persona. Is it based at all on you as a person, or completely no? You just use the image?
No, it really was just using the image. When Scoot and I got together and we're talking about this and the idea of this guy who wants to be a supervillain and he has to capture the great ancient evil one, the great evil one that's coming, and ends up being a kid monster who moves in across the street. The Dirk Manning persona really kind of became like the default. Like, why wouldn't we use that? You have this avatar you've used for years, and I mean, this guy right here, I mean, this is the logo that people have known me by for 20 years. So I was originally trepidatious about it. The main reason being, this is a co-creator owned book, and we had to do some stuff in the contract to make sure that the Dastardly Dirk character was a separate character, because Scoot does not own half of me. He doesn't own Dirk Manning. He's co-creator of this alternate character with a top hat and a purple scarf and things like that, like little things that really would protect, Dirk Manning LLC, Dirk Manning, the brain, the person, but also create this. But I'll tell you what's funny, and a lot of people realize this, and I guess I'm going to kind of blow the kayfabe here a bit. So a lot of people pick up on the fact that, the Dastardly Dirk kind of looks like me, or my avatar. Scoot has that jacket, friends.
Oh,
Junior, you'll always see Scoot wearing that red jacket. I'm putting him on blast. So really, it's Dirk and Scoot really are both on here, and it's like an allergies. But so that's what's funny is there is versions of both of our professional attire, or our professional look, transposed right into it. So, and
oh no.
Well, I'm not gonna guarantee that Kyle dies or that anyone dies in the book, but there is a character with a very friendly face and very skinny arms that appears somewhere in the book that may resemble our close friend Kyle.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. All right, so for people that have never like built like a crowdfund thing, what do you think are the key parts to building one? Not like the how to like do the social media part of it, but the build of the thing itself. What do you think are the key things to at least make that part successful?
I'm going to talk about this in a lot more detail in Right or Wrong Volume 2 coming out in 2023 or so. But no, the biggest thing I tell people about it is, from a pragmatic standpoint, watch your shipping. International shipping can kill you.
I have heard such things.
I've had panels with people that have said, I've made $1 million on Kickstarter and went bankrupt. That aside, just more fundamentally speaking, I think it's important to have several access points to the work for people. So like if you go to CthulhuJr.com, you can sign up to get notified when we launch tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. You can get just a digital version of the book for $10. If you just want to trade paperback of the whole book, it's $20. If you just want the Kickstarter exclusive hardcover, it's $30. And this is all with free US shipping, right? Mm-hmm. So we actually factor that in, like $30, boom, you get the hardcover out the door. If you want just a plushie, it's a little bit more. If you want to do the plushie and the book together, it's a bit more. If you want the plushie, the hardcover, and a T-shirt, it's a little bit more. Yeah, there you go.
So you're saying options. Options are key.
Options. Yeah, options and access points, and there's options for people to go even more if they want to like buy in at a retail level, if they want to get one of the mystery boxes. But you want to give people entry points, Mm-hmm. Some people really want the book, but they don't buy physical comics. They don't have a big dungeon like I do filled with books, so they get it digital. Some people just want the trade. Most people you'll find, or I find, that are jumping in on a Kickstarter, they want at least the hardcover and some cool thing to go with it. In this case, we're offering both the plushie as well as the shirt. And we're even doing kids' shirts too. So I'm really excited about that.
Perfect.
Yeah. But that's the key, I think. Options and variety and meeting people where they're at. I'm also big on, again, for US shipping, we bake the shipping cost right into the campaign. So what you see is what you pay shipping out the door. I think our Gimme Everything is $80, which is the hardcover, the plushie, the shirt. $80 out the door, plus all these stretch goals we unlock for free. And we like to throw a stretch goal party in my campaign. So you might have getting a big box of jerk with just open it up and a plushie jumps out and a shirt and a book. Cookie cutters or playing cards, all kinds of crazy stuff.
So how do you figure? Okay, so this is the thing I've never been able to figure out. So you have these like stretch goals you're reaching, and it's kind of based on a dollar amount that's been bought into for all of these different kinds of options of things, right?
Right.
So you're not really getting more money yourself for the things that have been purchased.
Right.
I'm guessing it's costing you less to make the amount of them that you're getting made. And that's probably where the buffer is. Like, how do you figure out what you can offer as an incentive like that, that doesn't become this breaking of the bank of any profit you would have made by just because of its uniqueness? It's like, okay, I promised, I will make foil covers of things. And you go and price out foil covers when you go to print and it's, $1 billion.
You mean like back in the day when I did the Nightmare World Bible with the leather-bound, gold-gilded pages and the slipcase and the bonus book? Like, man, kudos to Devil's Due for letting me do that, because that was at the time the most successful creator-owned crowdfunding campaign of all time, and we didn't make a dime of extra money because I kept pouring it into the book, leather-bound and all that. So what the key is, and I'm glad you brought this up because this is stuff I love to talk about, is it's twofold. I know behind the scenes what my unit cost for every item is, right? I know my cost is for the hardcover, for the toy, for the shirt, and then obviously you have to factor in the shipping. So I'm factoring that into the campaign. But every stretch goal we unlock, let's say, for example, we're doing the book plates, right? Book plates, maybe we'll just say, I'm going to make it easy, cost 25 cents a piece to print them.
Sure.
Doesn't cost anything for me to sign them. Doesn't cost anything for Scoot to sign them. He'll be very generous, do a little remark on them. Maybe give him a little bit of money for that.
But it does make the book more valuable for the end user, which is
right. It makes it more valuable for you because now you get a custom, one-of-a-kind book plate signed by me, signed by Scoot. If you never see us at a convention, you still get a signed version of the book. We don't have to ship the books around to sign. We can take the book plates and get them signed, and they're really nice.
Right.
Head sketch on them, boom, you're good to go. But everything you add on does eat away at your profit level, right? So let's say I do something crazy like, let's do cookie cutters, because you can make Cthulhu Junior cookie cutters, for example. I don't know, just hypothetically speaking, is some wild and crazy thing. You're right. We have to kind of project, and this is where that calculus comes into it. Mm-hmm. If we're going to get to that level, that probably means we've sold about, I'm going to make up a number, 250 pre-orders, or let's go 500 pre-orders, which means we'll be making 500 cookie cutters, which means if we're making 500 cookie cutters, we can get them down to this price. And let's say, for argument's sake, it's 50 cents a pop.
Sure.
Why not? Right. I don't know. I'm literally making this up as I go. Well, that means now that my profit margin per pledge level is going down by 50 cents per unit, per people that get it. But that's fine. You're also hoping that by making up the gross and by selling 250 to 500 books, your unit price is going down. Sure. So you're kind of hoping that they kind of go down at about the same rate. And it takes work. It takes a lot of pre-planning to figure this stuff out, because you can get underwater very quickly. So you want to offer, as a creator, high value to you, my backers, but in the scheme of things, low cost to me. That's why on the Mystery campaign, we didn't do a slipcase for that omnibus, because slipcase prices right now, I mean, quite frankly, they're just way too expensive.
Right.
They're way too expensive. It would have added to the shipping exponentially, would have added to the cost. And there's no way I could have offered a slipcase as a stretch goal if a slipcase is going to cost me $3 a pop. Yeah. That's a big chunk of the profit that we make out of books. It's like, newsflash, we don't have a huge profit margin on books. And $3 off doesn't behoove Source Point. It doesn't behoove me. So instead, we could do leather bound. We can do gold gilded pages. We can do some other stuff. We kind of go from there.
So how far in advance of Kickstarter do you have to do all the research to find out what your costs are for things do you pie in the sky stretch goals that you're like, okay, well, maybe I have to make cookie cutters if I get up to $50 billion. But now I have to find someone that can make Cthulhu cookie cutters and source them in the color you want or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you do all that research ahead?
Yeah, you have to, because prices fluctuate and you want to see what's attainable. So kind of like what you do is, or what I do is, I'll have a meeting with Source Point, Josh Werner, our editor-in-chief, maybe Travis McIntyre, or whatever. And I'll sit down and say, okay, pie in the sky, crazy talk. This is the wouldn't it be cool if? And then we go from there. We did the same thing with the toys, with the plushies. It was like, I said, hey, I know we've kind of talked about this before. And this was several months back, obviously. I said, but are we thinking about plushies? Even if they're like little, I don't want to say Beanie Baby style, but little ones? And they said, funny you mentioned that. We actually are getting ready to move into doing some large plushies. My dude, Garrett Gunn and Christy, and then my other dude, Christy Blanche, I do the Cuddly Kaiju campaign, right as this one wraps up. And they're making these 12-inch plushies. And I was like, hey, we can do that. Then there's talk, does Cthulhu Junior jumping the Cuddly Kaiju line? No, that's their thing, blah, blah, blah. So we're releasing the toys under Rip Wrap, which is going to be Source Point's toy producer, right? But we look at it, we see what's the cost, what's it going to cost us, and there's got to be certain guarantees for them as well. Like, okay, we have to sell X amount. Then it becomes my skin in the game because I'm like, okay, Dirk, if you want a Cthulhu Junior plushie, you need to sell this many. And then I have to kind of, again, I always tell people Kickstarter is kickstarting it, right? You're kickstarting. This isn't GoFundMe. This is how much skin I'm asking other people to put in the game I'm pre-ordering. I always put skin in the game on my Kickstarters. And I'm like, okay, like if we have to have this many plushies to make it happen, and if for some reason the campaign doesn't do it, I mean, I've been gauging the audience on this book for 2 years. I know people are interested. I'll cover it. I will buy the extra plushies and I will sell them myself. Or you'll see me doing live streams, sitting on a throne of Cthulhu plushies.
Yes.
Right. So, but yeah, you factor all this stuff way in advance, and it's math. It's finance, it's economics. You really have to make these decisions. And again, there's times when it's just things are out of reach. It's like, that's just, we can't do a slipcase on the mystery omnibus. We can do leather bound, we can do gold gilded, or, whatever. I don't want to, I already got people saying if we don't make the cookie cutters now, they're going to riot. So I don't want to open my mouth up about it.
That's Kyle saying it, so.
I love cookies, and as people with good things do. And the range of cookies are a big part of Cthulhu Junior. So maybe
if you make cookie cutters, I will make Cthulhu Junior ice cream sandwiches with the cookies.
I think it now has to happen. All right, we've announced round one.
I knew I could sell them.
There it is, right? There it is.
All right, Dirk, we got about a minute.
Oh, sorry.
What is the things you need to tell everybody? Obviously it's tomorrow, 33333 when it all launches.
Yep.
If people can remember the number 3, they'll be okay. What else?
Go to CthulhuJunior.com. If you don't have a Kickstarter account yet, go ahead and you can sign up now. You get a one-time email upon notification. This is an all-ages book, 5 issues plus, full of content. The only way you'll get the Kickstarter exclusive hardcover. The guaranteed way you'll be able to get the plushies. We're looking to unlock all kinds of stretch goals, and these are the best prices. I think you're going to be able to get all this stuff as well through the campaign for the amount of bonus stuff you will get. All ages book, really exciting, really grateful to get to do this. Big props to Scoot, big props to Sean Burris, our colorist, to Leah Letterman, our editor, and CthulhuJunior.com. If you guys want to check it out, go pre-register now. And tomorrow at 3:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, half the number of the beast, we will be launching.
Which is man's number. Sorry, Sunday school teacher.
No coincidences, my friend. I don't want to give everything away. I already put it out there that Scoot is junior, but exactly right. We're betting on ourselves on this one.
Oh yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for this awesome episode of Talking Shop. Come see us every single Monday at the same time to talk to another awesome creator. Thank you so much, Dirk. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Jen. Thank you. And stay in touch online, everybody. Thanks.
Absolutely. Bye, y'all.